Welcome to Websites for Beginners, and we are looking at the image accordion from ElementsKit for Elementor, and that is what you see in front of you, these 4 images. But wait, there's more. When you hover over it, you will see that it reveals the adjacent images, and there is some text that you can add as well as a link. That makes it great for displaying various products. Let's have a look at how you can create this for your website, make it fit nicely, and bring out a little bit of pizzazz for your site. My name is JP, and this is Websites for Beginners, where we take things a little bit slower, a little bit more in-depth for us beginners to learn how we can make great websites. You've created your website with Elementor. ElementsKit is a great add-on to give you a little bit more spice and make things easier by grouping many elements, often into one element. And this one we are looking at is Image Accordion. You can follow them and go check them out by following the link in the description below. Image Accordion, and they have a few examples. You've seen the one that I've already shown you. What the Image Accordion is, this one is clickable. So you can set it from whether you have to click on each of these images, or the one that I showed you at the very beginning is one where you can just go ahead and hover and it will appear. And you have control for your styling, add your links, add icons, and you also have this horizontal, or is this vertical? I'm never sure. I feel this is horizontal, but I'm pretty sure it's going to turn out to be vertical setting. Either way, one is sideways and one is upways and downways. And these are all the various ones you can use. There is one thing I want to say at this very moment, and I'm going to use a developer's app just to show you. When you get to these nice layouts, they are primarily designed originally for desktop, and this was way before we even considered working with tablets and mobiles. And that's why many of these, especially if they are this fantastic looking elements, you have to go check how it will display on a mobile and tablet. And you have to make a decision whether you like it or not. So to show you, I have an iPad here on the right, and I'll show you quickly how it looks on the iPad. And you can see things are already a little bit squashed, but on an iPad, I think this may just work. The only concern I have is that your visitor may not know that they need to click on it. They may actually think that this is some kind of design, that it's one image and these other images. And that's why the hover usually works better. And if this is important information, you have to really consider whether you want to hide it and let people hunt around for it. Remember, we are trying to make websites accessible. We often think when they interact, that's when they are engaged. If they have to hunt for information, that's usually when they start disengaging. Be very careful of this type of element. I love it, but personally, I don't use it except under very rare circumstances, maybe where I want to present portfolios. But adding links where you actually want people to click through, this could be a way for them to actually miss the link. And then if you look on the left, I have an iPhone 14, and then I match it up with the very small Galaxy S8. You can see it becomes really squashed, and if you're going for bigger text, it's going to be very cramped. But it does look still very impressive, and if you have something like a traveling blog, this may work. Let's go back to WordPress, and this time I'm going to show you how this will work. Now, first thing you will need to do, let me just show you, is that you will have to go into WordPress, have to go to ElementsKit, and then when you go to widgets, you will see Image Accordion appears at the top, and you will have to activate it. It's not on by default, and once you switch it on, you go to Save Changes. Let's go set it up from scratch and see how it works. Let me close the structure here, and I'll bring in a new section, and then under widgets, I'm going to type in Image Accordion. And there we go, only one in the village. Click, hold, and drag, and it brings in something over here on the left that shows us we have items that we are working with. And let's start working with the first one. Here, huge important tip. If I click on this, and when I click on it, it's going to unfurl and show you a lot of options. The moment you see all of these options, for example, you can enable an icon, you can use a button, then the recommendation is, I'll close it again, to delete these guys. And the madness translates into setting up this one, and then copying it and just changing out the information. And that's what we're going to do. Same like I did in the demo, I'm going to call this one first image or first title. And that is done over here. So I wish I could change it there, but let's go and click on background image first, and we select an image. Then we go to title, and let's call this just number 1. You will see no title appears, and then I'll go to enable icon and I'll click on it. And then I select an icon. Let's just choose any of these, a little bell. And still no icon, and you can put it before or after. This exactly happened to me also in the demo. What I found worked is when I clicked on active. Yes. And this actually doesn't mean you activate the title and the button. If I deselect it, it's gone again, but you'll find soon why you actually need to come and turn it off later. So I'll click it on, otherwise for some reason it just doesn't appear there. This image accordion wants at least 2 or 3 items for you to put in there for this to work. So we'll come back to this. Now that I've activated it, I have the icon position before and after. So I can put it before or after. I'll put it in front of it. You can enable a wrap link if you want to add that. Here is your button. It's on by default, and we'll leave it. And we can change the button label to Explore Now. And then you add your URL here, and you have the option to enable all of that. And this is everything that happens here within our number 1 slide. And now you understand also why I said do this one first, because we've enabled the icon, we've set up all these settings. So now I go, click on duplicate, and I have my second one, change out the image. Pull this one, number 2, over here. And the rest I'm going to keep the same. But now I want to go to active, and I want to deactivate it on number 2. And I want to see if it disappears. And now when I click on number 2, you will see now we start having this kind of image carousel. What happens if you keep all of them on active? Is nothing. The reason you only want one active is because this is going to be the dominant, the showcase image that will appear on the front end when people load the page. Otherwise, it's going to just do it on the last image. So what I want is I want 4 images, and I want the second image to be the one that shows active. So I'll go to number 1, I'll deactivate it, and maybe the text will disappear. Yeah, it goes away again. Let's go to number 2 and activate this one, and text is back. And now I'll duplicate. I'll go to number 3, change out the image, bullet number 3, and I will uncheck active. And then for number 4, and I think that active is confusing you by now, I'll go for the last image and bullet number 4, and I'll leave it as deactivated. Let's quickly have a look on the front end so I can explain to you what the active thing is all about. Click on publish, and we view it on the front end. And you can see in the back, if I click here on number 4, but the front, it will show the big image as number 2. And that is what the active is all about. If we go and I uncheck number 2 and I check active number 3, save. Now you will see number 3 is the image that is open, and I can select the others. That is how you set up the content. Very simple. Then you have a style, you have a default, horizontal, and then the vertical. And when you go vertical, you're going to increase the height of this one. That is done under styling, and you will see here you have minimum height. You're going to increase this, and you have that responsiveness for the tablets and the mobile. For example, I'll definitely in mobile, I'll go ahead and increase that height so it can nicely fill the screen. Let's set it back to desktop. Let's reduce it a little bit again. And we go to content and back to horizontal. And then the last one is whether these images will open up and slide to the sides, whether it happens when somebody clicks on it or when they hover. And here, keep in mind what I showed you when we were looking at that. if people are unaware that this is actually content, they may just skim over it and they will not click on it. And that's where the hover can come in, because now with the hover, as their mouse goes over the page, it will reveal, make them stop and think, whoa, okay, wait, there's something going on here. So I'll probably, when I use the image accordion, always go with hover. The final stuff that we will have to look at is these ones, and that's the content. And the most important one for me is in terms of the content. The rest are all styling in terms of your color, your fonts, your borders, your buttons, all of that. But with the content, there are two options here. It's first your alignment, whether you want it to the left, and the right, and the center, and then your placement on that y-axis, y-axis, right? And I'm going to add this one to the bottom, and it seems we have responsiveness that you can change where that will appear. If you go to tablet, let's put it on in the middle, and then when we go, let's put it at the top. And I just want to see if this will honor the settings, bottom, middle, top. So responsiveness works. We give the guys at ElementsKit full marks for that. But that is not good design all the way there at the bottom, and that's where the padding comes in. I'll uncheck my padding here, and then I'll go to the bottom and I'll increase it. And let's put it on 30. And I think this is the most important part to take into consideration when you work with it, where you place your content, your text, and then bringing in some padding to get it away from the borders. Last thing I'll just do is style my button so it fits on my page. And for the button, I will go to the background color, use classic, and then I'll just use the eyedropper. Let's see if we can get a nice color somewhere here. This green, select the green, and then I'll go to the border and I'll take away the border, put it on none. And also to the border radius, I'll put it on 0. So we have nice sharp corners. Typography, I'll just increase the size. And let's go to transform and put it all on uppercase. Little bit of letter spacing. And now that we have this bigger text, I wonder if we go to our weight. Don't think it's going to, okay, explore now. Then I'm going to increase the letter spacing a little bit more and reduce the size. And that's how you style it out so it fits nicely onto your page. And you set up the active slide that you want to appear on the front. And when you're done with that, Sally, you say publish, and then you preview it again. And look how it nicely fits onto your page. Great. Image accordion. That is from ElementsKit for Elementor. Check the link in the description below. Remember to subscribe and give this video the best like you've ever given any video in the world. From me, JP, here at Websites for Beginners. See you in the next one.